Shana Tova. It is a pleasure to welcome our new rabbinic intern, Zachary Canali, to our pulpit for these high holy days. Zachary will help us welcome this new year and will be on the bima for most of the Shabbat services in 5784, adding his knowledge, his passion for Judaism, and his spirit to the congregation. Cantor Stone wanted me to let you know she's in a mask because she had a case of COVID last week. She's been cleared, but just out of an abundance of caution. Time moves at the speed of life. For some of us, that means chasing our kids, driving them, and emailing their teachers, and hosting play dates, and a lot of time on the sidelines of ball fields. For some of us, that means work, spreadsheets and checklists and Zoom calls and presentation decks and managing up and managing down. For some, that means a focus on health, doctor's appointments, pharmacy visits, scheduling procedures, and hoping and waiting, lots of waiting. And then all the things in between, meals and social plans, concerts and museums, cleaning the house and doing the laundry, work with a friend, or buying groceries. These are things that make up our days. These are points of life, the points which often feel disparate. These next 10 days give us the space to draw the lines between the points, to find the substance that connects the seemingly disconnected. How rare and precious to have this time. How beautiful to step outside the daily rush, to think, to listen, to consider and reflect. How holy to know that all of it, all of life, is woven together in a tapestry of meaning. While most of our prayers and readings are in the book, we will occasionally offer thoughts or reflections that are not in the prayer book. If you can't find what we're saying, it's because it's not in the book. Don't worry, we will soon call a page number and we'll be together again. We continue now on page 7. Summer's gone, the nights grow cold. These are the days of awe. The shofar blows with bread in hand down to the sea. We take time, give thanks, and cast our sadness free, that we may start fresh, that we may come clear, that we may know sweetness and peace throughout the year, that we may find love where we need it most, and open our hearts and hands and draw each other close. Page 11. The first mitzvah in the Torah is, let there be light. So we are commanded, in everything you do, be a menorah, a bringer of light. Live with honor, act with integrity, do your work with passion, and the radiance of your deeds will live after you. May our ideals burn bright, forever unextinguished, and may we live our lives like the flames we kindle, always stretching upward, striving for the good, reaching for you.
Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat v'shel Yom Tov. Source of blessing, eternal our God, you fill the universe with majestic might, teaching us holiness through sacred obligations, giving us the mitzvah of bringing light on Shabbat and this festival.
במצוותיו, אשר גישנו במצוותיו, וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת ביום טוב.
Page 12, we read responsively. To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to gather round the table with loved ones and friends, a time for song and silence, for prayer and confession to open the heart, a time to retreat to our sanctuaries within, a time to renew the life and spirit of our community. This is the season of hope. Like mist rising at sunset, like dew descending at dawn, our hopes beautify and nourish everything they touch. Our hopes make us partners in creation, pursuers of peace, people who aspire to a world of justice. Page 15, please rise.
Take over, Hodesh, Shalom, Akeseyo, Chadenu, Kivod Israelu, Ishpat
At the new moon, at the full moon, for our feast day, sound the shofar, for that is the law of Israel, the way of God of Jacob.
Hallelujah, v'teka shofar. Praise God with the blast.
Baruch atah Adonai, shomea kol tru'at amo Yisrael berachamim. Blessed are you in our lives, Adonai. You hear with love the shofar, true voice of your people Israel. Page 19. Our God and God of our ancestors, may we know your blessings in the year 5784. Eternal One, bless us and the whole house of Israel with renewed life, happiness and peace, comfort and courage, resilience and strength. May the words of our heart be acceptable to you in the new year that stretches before us. We are forever grateful for the gift of life. Page 20. Page 23. Bless Adonai who spins day into dusk. With wisdom watch the dawn gates open. With understanding let time and seasons come and go. With awe perceive the stars in lawful orbit. Morning dawns, evening darkens, darkness and light yielding one to the other, yet each distinguished and unique. Marvel at life. Strive to know its ways. Seek wisdom and truth, the gateways to life's mysteries. Wondrous indeed is the evening twilight. Page 24, we read together. Love beyond all space and time, your love enfolds your people Yisrael. We receive it in your teaching, your gift of Torah, sacred obligations, discipline, and law. So let us speak these teachings when we lie down and rise up, and find joy forever in your Torah and mitzvot. They are the very essence of our life, ours to ponder and study all our days. May we never lose or be unworthy of your love. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael, for you are blessed, the one who loves your people, Yisrael. Page 26, Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai
Pages 28 and then 30 for Ve'ahavta, first in Hebrew and then in English. You may be seated.
אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננת לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך ושתם לראות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
Page 30.
למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
The English on page 28. You shall love Adonai your God with all your mind, with all your soul, and with all your strength. Set these words which I command you this day upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand. Let them be a symbol before your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Page 30. Be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them. Thus will you become holy to your God. I, Adonai, am your God, who brought you out of Egypt to be your God. I, Adonai, your God. Page 33, the bottom of the page. You have stayed long enough in this place, God said. Time to go forward. Turn your face to the future. Believe that you can cross this sea and survive. Inside you is a Moses. Within you, Miriam dances unafraid. Lift up your voice and sing a new song. The middle of page 34. Page 36.
Bless our sleep with peace, Adonai, and awaken us to life when we rise. With power sublime, spread over us your shelter of shalom, and through your wisdom restore us, make us whole. Let you name proclaim your presence in our lives, be our shield. Make us stronger than the enemies we face, illness and war, famine and sorrow, and stronger than the enemies in our hearts, wickedness and sin. Carry us to safety as on wings, for you are the monarch of grace, the sovereign of compassion. You are the one who cares for us and sets us free. Watch over us, we who go forth to life. Watch over us, that we may come home in peace now and till the end of time.
Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Blessed One, you spread over us a canopy of peace, a shelter of shalom over all Israel, your people, and over Jerusalem. Tonight is not only Rosh Hashanah, it is also Shabbat. And so in honor of Shabbat, we continue with Vishamru on page 38. In a moment, we will pray the Amidah, beginning with the Avot Ve'imahot's prayer. This is our conversation with God, words from Abraham Joshua Heschel to keep in our hearts as we pray. The words of our prayers must not fall off our lips like dead leaves in the autumn. They must rise like birds out of the heart into the vast expanse of eternity. We continue with the Avot Ve'imahot on page 44. Please rise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imateinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka,
middle of page 46, we read together. Your life-giving power is forever, Adonai, with us in life and in death. You liberate and save, cause dew to descend, and with mercy abundant, lovingly nurture all life. From life to death, you are the force that flows without end. You support the falling, heal the sick, free the imprisoned and confined. You are faithful even to those who rest in the dust. Power beyond power, from whom salvation springs, sovereign over life and death, who is like you? Merciful God, who compares with you? With tender compassion, you remember all creatures for life. Faithful and true, worthy of our trust, you sustain our mortal yearnings. In you we place our undying hopes. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol. Wellspring of blessing, power eternal, you are the one who gives and renews life. Page 49, please be seated.
Ata kadosh v'simcha kadosh, kadoshim b'chol yom yelahucha selah. You are holy, your name is holy. Seekers of holiness praise you day by day, Selah. And so, in your holiness, give all creation the gift of all. Turn our fear to reverence. Let us be witnesses of wonder, perceiving all nature as a prayer come alive. We bow to the sovereignty of your strength, the primacy of your power. We yearn for connection with all that lives, doing your will with wholeness of heart. Awe-inspiring is your creation, all-encompassing your transcendent name. Page 50.
Grant honor to your people, God. Grant glory to those who revere you. Grant hope to those who seek you. And courage to those who trust you. Tzadikim, tzadikim yiru, tzadikim yiru ve'yishmachu, v'yisharim ya'alosu, v'chasidim berina yagim.
Page 51, we read together. And so, in your holiness, give the righteous the gift of a vision bright with joy, a world where evil has no voice, and the rule of malevolence fades like wisps of smoke. Good people everywhere will celebrate the stunning sight of arrogance gone from the earth. Page 54. Our God and God of all generations before us, may a memory of us ascend and come before you. May it be heard and seen by you, winning your favor and reaching your awareness. Together with the memory of our ancestors, the memory of your sacred city, Jerusalem, and the memory of your people, the family of Israel. May we be remembered for safety, well-being, and favor, for love and compassion, for life, and for peace on this day of remembrance. Page 55, please respond with Amen. Zochrenu Adonai Eloheinu bo letova. Ufokdenu vo livracha. V'choshienu vo lechaim. Eternal our God, remember us. Be mindful of us. And redeem us for a life of goodness and blessing. Page 59. Help me to serve you truly, with purity of heart. When I hear hateful or degrading speech, let me focus on good words and worthy thoughts. When my worst instincts cause me torment, teach me to care for myself and for others. In rough waters and misfortune, let me harbor patience and strength. Make my soul a sanctuary, that your light may dwell within me. Align all my acts in pursuit of goodness, so may I be a vessel of holiness, serving you with purity and truth. We now turn to the middle of page 65. After a long illness, I was permitted for the first time to step outdoors. And as I crossed the threshold, sunlight greeted me. So long as I live, I shall never forget that moment. And everywhere in the firmament above me, in the great vault between earth and sky, on the pavements, the buildings, the golden glow of sunlight, it touched me too, with friendship, with warmth, with blessing. And I remembered how often I had been indifferent to the sunlight, how often preoccupied with petty and sometimes mean concerns. I had disregarded it, and I said to myself, how precious is the sunlight, but alas, how careless of it we are. We join together. Source of blessings, may we open our eyes to the radiance around us. May we open our hearts with gratitude and our souls with appreciation. Hello, it's me again. Every time we come together for worship, we include a prayer for peace. We seek it, praying that God grants that peace to us. But is our prayer working? How does this peace manifest itself in our world? And how can we bring about that peace ourselves and answer our own prayer? Baruch atah Adonai oseh hashalom. Blessed are you, God, maker of peace. Besefer Chaim, the Stirring High Holy Day addition to our prayer for peace on page 66.
We pray silently through page 70. We take a moment now to offer a prayer for those in need of healing. And I invite you to call to mind anyone in need of healing, healing of body, healing of mind, or healing of spirit. Page 74. Avinu Malkeinu, strong was the faith of generations before us. In exile they proclaimed enduring hope. In the shadow of persecution they affirmed a transcendent love and compassion. Ours is a different age, less confident and more certain, more tentative in its trust. There are many who say to the works of their hands, "You are our gods." But when worship centers on our own creations, we feel less gratitude, more doubt and despair. This is the paradox of our spiritual lives. We grow smaller in self-exaltation, nobler when we reach for you. On this night of return, let us find the humility to come close to you and open ourselves to your presence. For you are absent only when we fail to make room for you in our hearts, distant only when we turn away from you. Now, as others have done before us, let us overcome doubt and speak these words of affirmation together. We call you Avinu. As loving parent, forgive our wrongs and failings, accept us in our human frailty. We call you Malkeinu. As sovereign of our souls, help us rise from our brokenness to build a world of shalom. To this vision, we offer ourselves anew. Page 76, please rise. We read responsively. Avinu Malkeinu, ein lanu melech ela ata.
Avinu Malkeinu, la'mancha rachem aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu.
For your sake, show us mercy.
Avinu Malkeinu, aseh imanu lema'an shemecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, act towards us as befits your name.
Avinu Malkeinu, shalach refuah shlema lecholei amecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, bring healing and wholeness.
Avinu Malkeinu, kira ro'a gazar dinenu.
May the harshness of the decree against us.
Avinu Malkeinu, kultivenu besefer geula.
Inscribe us in the book of redemption and renewal.
Avinu Malkeinu, Zechrenu Bizracha Tov Lefanecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, remember our goodness, call it to mind.
Avinu Malkeinu, Aseh Lamancha V'Hoshienu.
Malkeinu, act for your sake, save us.
Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Kolenu.
Voice.
Avinu Malkeinu, Chatanu Lefanecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, we've strayed and sinned before you.
Avinu Malkeinu, Chamol Aleinu Ve'al Olalenu V'Tapenu.
And on our families.
Avinu Malkeinu, Kale Dever V'Cherev V'Ra'av Ma'aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, halt this sort of sickness, violence, and hunger.
Avinu Malkeinu, Kale Kol Tsar Umastin Me'aleinu.
Cause pain and terror.
Avinu Malkeinu, Kotvenu B'Sefer Chaim Tovim.
Avinu Malkeinu, in the book of lives well lived.
Avinu Malkeinu, Chadesh Aleinu Shana Tova.
Renew us for a good year.
Avinu Malkeinu, Chonenu Va'anenu, Ki Ein Banu Ma'asim, Aseh Imanu Tzedaka V'Chesed V'Hoshienu.
Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Kolenu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chatanu Lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, Umol Aleinu, V'Yar Aleinu, V'Tapenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, Kale Dever V'Cherev V'Ra'av Ma'aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Kale Kol Tsar Umastin Me'aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu
Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Chadesh Aleinu, Shana Tova.
Avinu
The story is told of a yeshiva student from the old country. He was a very inquisitive student, always pushing his teachers, spotting inconsistencies, and squeezing every bit of meaning out of our sacred texts. One day, on a particularly complex bit of Talmud, The student asked a question that the teacher could not answer. "I have to say," said the teacher, "this is a very good question. To answer it would require knowledge not only of this text and the Torah, but also of some obscure commentaries that I do not know. I do not have those expertise. Perhaps you should ask our town's head rabbi. When you find the answer, please tell me." And so the next day after work and before going to the house of study, our inquisitive young man headed to the town's main synagogue. He knocked on the door and was admitted by the shamus, the man charged with the upkeep of the building and with guarding the time of the very busy rabbi. "I have a question about a text that I would like to ask the rabbi," said our student. "I'm very sorry, but the rabbi is very busy. Surely you should ask your teacher," replied the shamus. "I did already, but he could not answer the question, so he told me to ask the head rabbi." "Very well," answered the shamus. "Let's see if he has a moment." They entered the rabbi's study. He looked up from a parchment that he was writing, smiled, and welcomed the young student. "How can I help you?" he asked. The student thanked the rabbi for taking the time to see him, and then posed his question on the particularly complex bit of Talmud. The head rabbi tilted his head and said, "Well," he stroked his beard, "have you considered?" He furrowed his brow and said, "If only..." But after all of this thinking, he looked our inquisitive friend in the eye and said, "I have to say, this is a very good question. To answer it would require not only knowledge of the text, the Torah, and the obscure commentaries that I know, it would also require knowledge of philosophy and agriculture, which admittedly I do not understand. Perhaps you should go to the nearby city and ask my teacher, who oversees the biggest synagogue there." And so the next day, with train fare from the town's rabbi, our friend boarded a train and rode to the nearby city. When he got off, he was amazed to see that the city had several cobblestone streets and not one, not two, but 3 butcher shops. He found his way to the synagogue and knocked on the door. A skeptical man opened the door, so our friend presented a letter from the rabbi of his hometown. The skeptical man rolled his eyes, but led him through the sanctuary with over 200 seats and down the hall to the rabbi's study. Our friend once again asked his question about this particularly complex bit of Talmud. The rabbi tented his fingers, closed his eyes, and breathed deeply. He stayed like that for 2 very awkward minutes. Slowly he opened his eyes. He looked at our friend and said, "I have to say, this is a very good question. To answer it would require not only knowledge of that text, the Torah, the obscure commentaries, philosophy, and agriculture, all of which I understand, but also knowledge of mystical texts, science, and mathematics. You should go to see the head of the great academy in our capital. I will gladly provide you with the train fare and would be grateful if you brought me the answer." By now you can imagine how our friend traveled and how he marveled at the sights and sounds of the capital city. You can picture the grumpy fellow who answered the big door of the great academy and the need our friend had for a letter of reference. And so now our inquisitive friend finally found himself in front of one of the Gedolim, one of the truly great sages of the day. He presented the question on the particularly complex bit of Talmud and eagerly awaited the response. For surely this wise man knew the text, the Torah, the obscure commentaries, philosophy, agriculture, mystical texts, science, and mathematics. The wise rabbi smiled and nodded his head. He looked at his friend and he said, "This is a very good question, and I do know an answer. But first, I have a question for you. Having traveled many miles and waited many weeks, the student responded, "Anything, ask me anything." The sage asked, "Why do you want to ruin a perfectly good question with something as simple as an answer?" In that moment, our inquisitive friend smiled, thanked the rabbi, and headed home. Now he no longer needed anything so simple as an answer. He knew the true wisdom lies in questions. We do not live in the old country. We do not study in yeshivas, but their methods of debate and questioning, the ways they honored all sides of an argument and recorded minority opinions, all of that demonstrates the value our tradition places on questions. We live in an answer-obsessed age. We want to know facts and figures. We dissect sports with endless statistics to answer the question of whether a team will win or lose. When we hear about a problem, we want to solve it, and quickly as possible. When our children learn, we look at grades and scores to answer the question of how they're learning. We have found ways to access answers instantaneously with Google and Siri and ChatGPT. We study vast data sets to find patterns that give us answers to questions we did not even know to ask. We are answer-obsessed. And our obsession with answers has actually brought us many blessings. When a patient presents a symptom, doctors can do a miraculous job of treating the underlying cause. When a need presents itself, our market finds a way to answer that need. When we need to know how to go somewhere, Google or Waze not only gives us many routes, but tells us which route has the least traffic. The answer to questions allow us to drive cars, fly around the world, launch satellites into space, and produce safe food. But answers are not always the answer. Questions open our minds. Answers close them. Questions start a search. Answers end it. Questions make us curious about a range of ideas. Answers can extinguish our curiosity. Questions encourage us to engage with other people. Answers require no one. Questions make us flex our brains. Answers simply register. Questions can make us wonder, can instill a sense of awe. Answers are abrupt. Questions engage us, and answers cut us loose. The first place we learn our obsession with answers is in school. Rather than expand the curiosity and intellectual vigor of our children, administrators demand that lessons train our kids to give the right answer on the test. Our grading system, in some ways a necessary evil, imposes artificial metrics on the joy of learning. It tells our children that what matters is not what you know, but how much you know. This demonstrates but one type of intelligence, one way of engaging with the world. Knowledge and ideas, wisdom and expression come in every shade of the rainbow. If only our schools could refract the natural curiosity of children through the wondrous prisms of questions, instead of forcing their light into black boxes of answer-driven conformity. Sometimes we fail to offer comfort to loved ones when they need it. We fail by answering instead of listening. Our loved ones may need to express, to yell, to rant, to cry, to be heard. But we are often not content to listen. We feel the need to answer, to problem solve, to tell them what to do. Sometimes people want our advice. But unless they explicitly ask for answers, what people usually need is for us to listen as they question their circumstances. The problem of answers is extreme when it comes to religion. How often religious certainty has alienated the faithful. How frequently religious arrogance has divided families and communities. How often religious dogmatism has led to bloodshed and war. Of all the fields of human endeavor, of all the fields of inquiry, how could humans ever assert certainty in matters of the spirit? To claim to know the nature of God is at best foolish and at worst deadly dangerous. Can you imagine if the human mind could understand God's infinite nature? Answers about God have only ever ended with oppression. But questions about God can open worlds of compassion and kindness. Meditations on God, seeking God, yearning for God, these bring people together in a search. They expand our minds to possibilities. They quiet our consciousness and calm our souls. Concrete answers to religious questions diminish the soul, feed our cynicism, and lead to arrogance. Humble questions about holiness and divinity lead to goodness and peace. We have natural dispositions and inclinations. Some of us like to contemplate, and some of us like to cut to the chase. Some of us act before thinking, and some of us never stop thinking. Most of us are more comfortable with the concrete solidity of answers than the vagaries and uncertainties of questions. And still, it is the questions of life that bring us the most meaning. We spend money to go to sporting events not for the results, but for the playing time, when we breathlessly ask over and over again, who will win? We go to concerts not for the set list, but to hear what song might come next. What new lighting effect will they use? How will the virtuoso interpret the classic piece? The classes that we remember are not the ones we could pass in our sleep. They're the ones that made us think, that made us see the world in new ways because of the questions that they posed. Answers narrow our worldview, and sometimes we do need that. But questions broaden our worldview, and we always need that. There is no doubt that we need answers and the many miracles that they bring with them. And there is no doubt that there are times and places when the wisdom of a question can bring us more meaning than any answer possibly could. These next 10 days, these coming days of awe, let us seek not answers or decisions, seek not finite solutions or definitive resolutions. Instead, let our liturgy and our reflections, our music and our thoughts, let them all open up the grand possibilities of our world and our lives. Let us read the proclamations of the High Holy Day prayers as questions rather than statements. Let those questions lead to new, fresh pathways, clear and sweet and peaceful. If we find the questions embedded in our prayers, surely our spirits will soar. Dear God, may the questions raised by our worship allow these high holy days to be days of broadening. May the vistas that the questions open up inspire us to blessings and goodness in the year to come. And may we all resist the temptation to ruin good questions with anything so simple as an answer. Ken Yehi Ratzon. May this be God's will.
Summer's gone, nights grow cold. These are the days of awe.
Page 78. Lift the cup. Lift the cup for the year that is gone, for mountaintop moments and the taste of joy, celebration shared, milestones met, all that we've mastered and achieved since we last met. For wedding rings, tears, and kisses under the chuppah, new babies, first words and first steps. For the children who bless our homes and bring life to our community. For B'nai Mitzvah and confirmands, young teachers of this holy congregation, ours to cherish and guide with love. For beloved wives and husbands, sisters and brothers, for loyal friends who grow more precious with each passing year, for this community which nourishes us all, for all we've learned, for all we've struggled through, for challenges surmounted and disappointments met with courage, for last moments shared with those we've loved and lost, for parents and grandparents whose memories are with us forever. We lift the cup for the year that is gone, for the year that begins. May we meet it in strength, in unity, and hope. We lift life's cup and celebrate survival, so may we sanctify each day that is ours. Pages 79 and 80, Kiddush. Page 85. May the time not be distant, our God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when lies and bigotry shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. So may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever. And it has been said, Adonai shall reign over all the earth. On that day, Adonai shall be one, and God's name shall be one. Page 89. The light of life is a finite flame. Like our sacred candles, life is kindled, it burns, it glows, it is radiant with warmth and beauty, but soon it fades. Its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance and our lives are full. But as night follows day, the candle of our life burns down and gutters. There is an end to the flames. We see no more and are no more seen. Yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. As we do every Sabbath, I will now read the names of those whose yahrzeit fell this week. Helen Belilovsky, Bernard Birnbaum, Arnold Cantor, Jay Fearman, Seymour Friedman, Ray Freifeld, Marcella Kahn, Helene Katz, Carl Kempner, Ralph Osako, Julian Pinkney, Celia Stone, Sarah Temkin, Bernice Rhoda Tepper, and in recent days, Stephanie Coles. We turn to page 90 and hold their names in our hearts with our own loved ones as we recite Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divarach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevorach le'olam omei olmaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn, and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, amen. Please be seated. A few fast announcements. This year, we are again collecting food to donate to Feeding Westchester. You can take a bag on your way out tonight or tomorrow. Listen, folks, last year, the amount of food we collected dipped. It was sort of embarrassing. So please take a bag and fill it with the non-perishable items that are needed and bring it back on Yom Kippur. If you forget it on Yom Kippur, you can bring it back until the 27th of September. Let's not be embarrassed again. Thank you. And let's help our neighbors. Right. Our film series kicks off on Thursday, October 19th with a cake maker. Also, please note that on February 1st, which seems a long time away, but don't blink, our congregant and filmmaker, Kira Gran, will present her award-winning film, How Saba Kept Singing, about David Wisnia, who survived Auschwitz using song. And she will be joined by David's grandson, Avi. Check Jewish Journey's catalog for all the films this year. They're wonderful. On Sunday, we will celebrate the second day of Rosh Hashanah at Edith Reed Sanctuary with our nature walk and tashlich. This outdoor experience is always a highlight of the holy days, with time to celebrate creation out in creation. And I know that on Sunday you're not going to be at work or school, so I look forward to seeing you there. 10:15. This year, we will be expanding our social action efforts to include several off-site adult volunteer opportunities organized by our co-chairs, Hedy Cardozo and Lauren Shalem. You'll read about them in the Emanu-El. Please sign up and help make a difference for our community. Services tomorrow begin at 10 a.m. The youth service is at 1:45, and our Young Families service starts at 3, followed by our Young Families Rosh Hashanah celebration at 3:30. Our youth and young families services are open to the whole community, so please let your friends and neighbors know. Oh, and after the morning service, there will be a reception, so you can stay and have a bagel. We conclude our services with a sing of Adon Olam on page 94 in the prayer book, verses 1, 2, and 5. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May God's light shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's presence always be with you and grant you peace.
God's Spirit be with you. Ruach Elohim keep you safe from harm. May the love of God be your shelter from every storm.
Shana Tova and Shabbat Shalom.